Hey everyone, this is Miss Anna from Exploration Point. I'm the only one in the room, or else I'd be wearing my mask, and I've got the 3D printer going in the background, so please just disregard that, like making little buzz noise every now and then. But today we are here to make a foldable microscope, and you will have picked up your kit most likely if you're watching this video. You do need the kit to do this craft. It comes in this cool little pouch. And at time of filming, I am not sure if there's going to be anything else in your kit because I'm kind of trying this out as I film, but I will keep you updated. So I'm going to go ahead and insert here a picture of what your foldoscope, what your foldable microscope will look like. Hey, future Miss Anna here, but here is what your finished foldoscope will look like. This is the front, this is the back, and you look through it on this side. It's super cool. I'll give you a closer look. But this is what we're going to be going for, and I promise it's super easy. It's not hard to understand at all. So let's get going. Alright, now that we've done that, our first step is going to be to take everything out of our bag. So the first thing you'll see here is the instructions. These are important. They will help you a lot. I'm going to give you guys a web tutorial here, and there is an official one from the Foldoscope's website as well. But these are really helpful when it comes to showing you how to use the microscope. So make sure you keep the tabs on where those are. You'll also have this little field guidey thing. This is going to tell you about some samples you might use your microscope to view. I'm going to shove my computer back here so you can actually see what I'm doing. My computer out the way. And next we need to take out our foldable pieces. And these are our magnetic couplers. We're going to put those aside. I'm not going to take them out of the bubble wrap yet because we want to keep those in good condition. And these, I believe, are stickers for slides and just a cool sticker. We're going to put that aside as well. But this is our most important thing. These are all of our foldable pieces. And I'm going to put that down so you can see what I'm doing. I'm going to very, very carefully unfold that. So you'll see it comes in one big sheet. And your first step that you're going to want to do is start punching out your pieces. And you want to do this very carefully. Just go around each edge. And just carefully pull. And you'll see there's even some cool fun facts on here about different kinds of bugs and cool things you might see in your microscope. And I'm going to show you guys don't need to sit here and watch me punch stuff out, but this piece here, this gray piece with this blue and yellow rectangle, you want to be extra careful when you punch that out because this is one large piece. You don't want to tear it apart. Even though you see these perforations here, you want to make sure that you're punching that out as one large piece. I saw that on the video tutorial, and I thought that would be just super important to know. So I'm going to go ahead and continue unpunching, or punching out. I don't know what unpunching is. And you want to do that very slow and careful. So you'll see it comes off like this. And also make sure that you're punching out these middle sections. Wherever you see just the plain white, you want to punch that out so you have like a frame. Cool, and I'll get back to you once those are done punching out. Alright, so now I've punched out my pieces, and all of the other paper you can just recycle. I'm just going to get that out of the way. And learn some interesting facts from the paper. And these white rectangles here, the two little squares and the dots, those are going to be used to make slide samples, and we can just put those away for now. We're going to come back to that, but for now we got to build the microscope itself. So I'm just going to gather those up in a nice little pile and set them to the side over here off camera. So these are the main pieces you're going to need to build the body of your foldoscope, and I labeled them for my own personal sanity. So this is the focus ramp, the lens stage, the slide stage, and the panning guide. And I'm going to go ahead and start out with the lens stage. So we're going to come back to our bubble wrap package here, and I'm going to open that up. And you'll see you actually have a stack of 4 separate pieces, and they're all magnetically connected, so you want to be extremely careful as you pull them apart. You're going to have 3 magnetic couplers and a lens. I just went ahead and cleared all the pieces we don't need for now. But now that I've carefully taken apart that little stack, you see we have these 3 magnetic couplers, and this circular piece is the lens. This is what we look through. I can't see my camera, there we go. This is what we're going to be looking through in our microscope. So we are going to use one of these to connect to our phone. So I'm going to just put that aside for now. But the first step is to connect the first of the couplers, the magnetic couplers, to your lens stage. And you see that they're on the blue side of your lens stage. There's this striped circle with little gray dots. Make that easier to see. You're going to take the edge of the coupler that's a little dog-eared, has these little ridges on it, and just slot that in there directly. It should line up just right, and it'll look like this. And I'll put that down from a distance so you can see it. It'll look just like that. And you can see on either side the circle lines up. And you want to make sure the gray magnet is up. Gray magnet for gray circles. Next, we're going to get the coupler for the back. Another important thing to note is that you'll see these 2 little circles on the coupler piece line up perfectly with these gray circles here. And that's a good way to tell you know what you're doing. So now we're going to flip around to the other side, and you'll see this red rectangle here. And you see a black striped circle. You're going to take your second magnetic coupler and do the same thing. You're going to find these black circles up here, and remember, black circle, black coupler, and you're going to just slot that in the same exact way. You're going to take the dog-eared notched part and line up those circles. Just slot the ridged side in. It might take a couple tries, and maneuver it so that those circles are all lined up. So those 2 circles there are lined up with the black circles. You look on the back, it's all lined up. And now our next step is we're going to fold that red rectangle in on that perforated dotted line. So it'll look like that. And we're going to take these little tabs, these little yellow tabs, and put those into those slots right there. Oop, and my coupler fell out, so it might take a couple tries. We're going to make sure that's shoved in and secure. Adjust my coupler a little bit, and that is what it will look like. That is what the end of that step should look like. Our next step is to attach the lens. So we're going to go back to our bags, and we're going to get out this little baggie with stickers in it, and we're going to open that and pull out the sheet of the circular stickers. And you're going to just pull off one of those. Now these are double-sided stickers, so on top they have a little cover. You want to make sure that you're getting the sticker itself and not just the cover. So when you pull it off, this should be sticky and this should be smooth. I'm going to set that aside. So a good thing to note is that your lens is very magnetic, so just keep it away from those couplers until you're actually sure you're ready to use it. But next, I'm going to take my sticker, and on the yellow side, I'm going to attach it to that top coupler, that front one, the one that we attached with the gray dots. And I'm going to put it on the yellow side, and I'm going to line it up just right with, and I'm going to stick it right on top of that magnetic coupler. It'll look like this. Next, now that we've got that down, we're going to just pull on the white piece and you'll have a transparent sticker on there. You can see how it's shiny now. Then you can put that in your trash pile, your sticker piece. Then take your lens, and you want to make sure you touch this as little as possible because you want it clean. But you want to take it silver side down and place it right on top of that magnetic coupler on your sticker. And you'll know you have it right because you'll feel those magnets attract. And that is stuck down there really well. So I think I've done this right. This is what it looks like from the back. And here's what it looks like from the blue side. this is what we've got so far. And now it's time to build our focus ramp. When you get out your focus ramp piece, you're going to want to hold it like this with the big rectangles facing towards you. And you'll notice that there's 8 dashed lines on here, and you're going to need to fold on each of those. So with the colorful side down, make sure that that's down and that the big end is facing you. Start folding on those dotted lines towards yourself. So you'll start getting something that kind of curls towards you. And some of these are a little small. You might want to ask an adult for help. But it'll start to look something like this. And I'm going to go ahead and pause because I can't imagine that's super fun to watch. So you'll have something that kind of looks like this. And your next step is going to be starting with the short end to roll your shape kind of in on itself until you have a rectangle shaped piece. And when you do that, I'm going to do it again to show you more slowly. You're going to want to make sure that these little short sides don't get flattened. So you should have something that kind of looks like this on the end. And you'll have a thick side and a thin side. So you'll have a side that has more creases and it kind of has that rectangle square shape. And you will have a side that does not. And I forgot to crease this little tab here, so I'm going to go ahead and do that while I'm here as well. On this other side as well. Over here you see a perforated line. So now you have a piece that looks like this. Then our next step is going to be to grab our lens stage and hold it so that the side with these measurements is facing you, with the blue side up and the yellow side facing away from you. The yellow end with that extra magnetic coupler on it. And you're going to take your rectangle piece, you're going to take your focus ramp, and make sure that you've got the thin side, and insert that from the top of your lens stage, insert it through, and bring it out the other side. Make sure you're doing that by the thin side. And you'll have something that looks like this. And that's how we insert our focus ramp. And now it is time to build our next stage. So next it's time to make the slide stage. And it might look like you might have the yellow side up, but we want to have the blue side up. And we're going to start by folding these little tabs here. So we're going to go along and fold on each of those perforated lines. And then tuck that yellow part here into the slit. You might have to pop open the slit. Just tuck that in there. And bring it around. You want to flip it and fold that over onto the yellow side. You'll know you got it right when you can't see the yellow on the blue side anymore. And it will kind of just click into place since it's all pre-perforated for you. Then you're going to do the same thing on the other side. Fold in on each of the dotted lines. And then fold the other way, don't do what I just did. Fold towards the middle on each of the dotted lines. And then bring that through the slit so that you can't see the yellow anymore. This does take a bit of maneuvering. It might help to do it on a flat surface. There you go. You want it to look just like this. So you can't see the yellow anymore. And you can see the yellow on this side. So now you'll also notice that when you turn onto your yellow side, you'll see these little arrows. Those are going to help you put slides into your microscope when it's time to do that. So you want to make sure that you can see those little yellow arrows. They look like this. So now we're going to insert our slide stage into our panning guide. And we want to make sure the yellow side is up and this little guy here is facing away from you, I believe. Yes, you want to hold it like this so that this little mascot in the corner is facing away from you. Then grab your panning guide. That's this piece. You'll notice it has a blue side and an orange side. And we are going to take our orange side and just go ahead and weave that so it looks like this. Watch out for those arrows. It might, once again, take a little maneuvering. Slide it back and forth like that. And you want it to look centered, kind of like this. And now it's time to use all of our pieces and assemble our Foldoscope. So the first thing we want to do is turn this piece over, our orange and yellow piece over, so that the blue side is up. Then we want to take our lens stage and stick that on top there. You want to make sure that the word Foldoscope is visible through that top window. It'll look something like this. Like that. You also want to make sure that the blue side is up. So now that we got that lined up, we're going to flip our microscope over, and you'll see these 8 little red rectangles. And you'll see these little windows here. You're going to want to slide each of those rectangles over to the front. You can't see what I'm doing. There we go. You want to just make sure you flip each of those rectangles so it's kind of bracketing onto the front. I'll do that again. Just put each red rectangle so that it looks like this on the front. And I feel like that was a little hard to see, so I'm going to do it one more time. I'm just going to undo it and redo it. You want to take this and pull it so it goes around. And then take the next one, push it into that little window, do the same with the next one, and then flip that to the other side. So you'll have something that looks like this on the front. It's a little hard to see because it's all blue, but you should be able to slide this piece up and down like that. And since it's sliding, you can tell I did it right. That's going to be how you tell. You should also be able to move your lens around by going like this. If you hold it like this, this is how you'll pan while using your microscope. So you can do it side to side or up and down. Next, holding your microscope with the yellow side up and this part facing towards you, you'll notice that there's 4 dotted lines. You're going to want to fold the first one down, the second one down, and away from you, the third line down, and the final one up. So it will look like this. I do have a correction. When you put your magnet in on the red side, you want to make sure that the black part, not the silver part, is facing up. So it should look like this. And then you want to go ahead and add your creases. Piece facing towards you or away, it doesn't really matter. You're going to want to notice that there's these 4 perforated lines. So you're going to fold the first one down, the next one down, the third one down, and the fourth one up. So you'll have, when you crease them all together, you'll have something that looks like this. And you're going to go ahead and click this into place. So you'll have something that looks kind of like this, like a little pocket there, and a little flap, and just like with that lens earlier, that magnet is going to just click right together. So you'll have something that looks like this on the yellow side, and here's what it looks like on the side, and you'll see it doesn't move because that magnet's holding it in place. Next, you're going to want to go back into your sticker bag, and you'll find this little ID sticker. This gives you information you'll need for the Foldoscope website if you decide to use it. I'm just going to pull that off. I'm going to open this flap again, and I'm going to just stick that where it says ID sticker. You'll see there's a little box right there, and I'm just going to place that right on top. So it looks like that, and I'm going to just click that back where it goes and fix that little tab. For our last assembly step, we're going to go into our little pouches, and you'll find a little Q-tip, and you're going to want to clean out your lens. So you're going to just take the tip of that and go into the front of your glass part there and just rub it all over very well. You want to make sure that's very clean so you can see through it. Then you're going to flip that over and do the same on the other side. Just make sure you wipe that thoroughly. I'm going to pull mine up here so I can make sure I can see what I'm doing. And that finishes the assembly of your Foldoscope. It has something that looks like this on the blue side, like this on the yellow side, and you should be able to pan left and right and up and down. And now it's time to learn how to make a sample. So in order to test out our microscope, we're going to need to make a sample. Oops. One moment, dropped something on the floor. So to make our sample, we'll need one of these little slides that look like this. And we'll need to go back in our sticker packet. And there's this thing of clear stickers. And you'll need to grab a set of those. And I'm going to put the other set back in my bag with this little Just for Fun sticker. And one moment. In order to test our microscope, we're going to need to make a slide. So you'll need 2 of these slide pieces. And you'll need this sheet of clear stickers from your sticker bag. And we're just going to peel off one of these clear stickers. If I can get it. They're a little hard to see. And I just carefully peel off one of those, and I'm going to fix the corner because it came off a little wacky. One moment. And I'm going to use this sticker to grab a few fibers off of my shirt. I hope they show. I'm just going to stick it to my sleeve really well. It's extremely sticky. And I'm going to pull it off. Alright, I definitely got some fibers there. Hopefully they'll show up on my slide. I might even just grab a few more. So we're going to look at some shirt fibers. And I'm going to stick that down on top of one of these rectangles. And I'm going to smooth that down very well. So notice I have a smooth side and a sticky side. And you're going to need to use another slide as a buffer. You're going to hold that down on top of the smooth side. So you'll have something that looks like this. So now we're going to go flip our microscope over and open that magnetic flap. And remember these arrows that we talked about earlier? We're going to use those as our guideline for inserting our slide. So you're going to, with the sticky side down, make sure that your sticky side of your slide is down and that you do have this buffer on top. You're going to go ahead and find that slot and just slot your slide in. Just be very careful. It might take some maneuvering. I think I've got it here. And then do the same on the other side to make sure it's held in place. And it might take a couple tries, but there we go. There's my slide in place. And that is what it'll look like. You're going to want to line up your slide with your lens, so it'll look like this. And then close that flap again. You'll feel the magnet click in place. And then you'll use this, you'll pan around to focus. But in order to do that, I'm going to bring this back up because you're going to see me looking through it. You got to look through on your blue side and look up towards the light. Oh my god, that's super cool. Whoa, that's wow. That's really cool. Oh, jeez. I was actually surprised by how visible that is. That's amazing. Okay, so you're going to want to use these to pan and focus. And you can make your image clearer, but you look through there. I'm actually going to take my glasses off because I think I'll see better. Yeah. And you can see a zoom in of those shirt fibers, and that is incredibly cool. And you want to make sure you're holding it up to a light. And you can pan around and see different parts of your slide. That is amazing. You can see it perfectly. And that is how you make a foldable microscope. And you want to make sure you're looking to the blue side. If you look to the yellow side, you won't see anything. But that is super cool. And to take your slide out, you just open up your flap again and remove it. And just put that buffer slide away. And you can keep your slides in your little pouch. And you could use this side for another sample. The tip, when you're using your microscope, you're going to use this rectangle here, the focus ramp, to focus your sample. This means to make it more clear. So you're going to slide that back and forth once you're holding it up to your eye in order to figure out how to see that sample clearly. And then when you move up and down, that's going to help you look at different parts of your sample, because it is a really small little like pinhole that you're looking through. But when I hold it up, I'm going to use, and I'll do it backwards, I won't be able to see anything, but I'd slide this back and forth to focus it, and then I go up and down to pan. So just so you know. You always also want to make sure that you're looking at a light, because you won't see anything if it's, well, you can see it but not well. Like a physical non-foldable microscope would have a light in it, so you just kind of want to replicate that. You're going to want to use a lamp or a fluorescent light or something like that as your viewing source. Please do not look directly at the sun. I do not advocate looking directly at the sun. That's something you should never do. And also, if you're like me and you wear glasses, you don't want to take them off. I saw so much more clearly once I took off my glasses. Another cool thing you can do with your Foldoscope is to use it with your phone. So you're going to want to grab this extra magnetic coupler from your kit and take your phone, and on the camera lens, line up that circle with the camera lens with the black side down, with the black side up, and just tape that directly to your phone. And you will be able to take that off. But I'm just going to stick that right on my phone camera. And then I'm going to connect it to my Foldoscope. So, a contraption that looks like this. Then I'm going to open my phone camera. And it's not perfect, but I think I just need to adjust it a bit. Please disregard the fact that I'm using the Snapchat camera because my phone ran out of storage while I was filming and wouldn't let me use my regular camera. But I aligned it right, and you can see this circle in the middle of my screen, and there's my sample. Isn't that cool? And I can use my focus ramp to slide around and focus it. That's a lot easier if you're legitimately looking at it. And you can still pan around and find a cool part of your sample. I'm going to pause and do that. I don't think you're going to be able to make this out at all. I think it's just because it's like trying to show a screen on a screen. But you can see my sample on my phone. You can see that little circle. And that's how you can see the sample on a phone. You can take screenshots to save examples. This still works best if you hold it like to a light source. And it still takes a lot of focusing, but I think that is really neat and an easier way to see it than just holding it up to your eye. I think you get the clearest image when you just look through it directly, but if you want to take pictures, I think that's the best way to go. And if you look, I went ahead and borrowed a phone from someone who has a much more recent phone than myself, and look how cool that is. It's still adjusting, but you can see that sample very clearly. Another cool thing you can try is taping the coupler with the silver side out to your phone's flashlight and then turning it on and attaching the yellow side of your Foldoscope to the flashlight. And now I'm going to run and shut the lights off. And then, if you have a plain white surface like my whiteboard here, you could use a wall in your house. I don't know if it's going to be visible at all, but you can project your image from your Foldoscope onto that white surface. Let me bring my computer up. So, oops, that's not what I meant to do. Ignore that loud noise. You can't really see it well. There you go. Can you see there are the fibers from the t-shirt? and I'm projecting that onto this white surface. So there you can see the fibers from my sample, and I would focus that just like I would anything else. See, oh, now you can see it clearer. Now you can see like more definition. So I think that's a really cool thing to try as well. And you just want to make sure that you're aiming the blue side of your Foldoscope at the white surface, and you can project. This video is getting a little long, so I'm going to wrap it up there. But that is how you make a foldable microscope and try it out. I encourage you guys, I'd show a few more samples, but we don't want to make our video like super long. But I encourage you guys to use the same thing we used to grab the fibers off our top to make another sample. Try using a hair off your head or a hair that your pet shed. Try using some stuff you find around the house. If you happen to have any microscope slides at home from a regular microscope, try those out. There's all sorts of cool things you try. Try looking at something you picked up outside, like a leaf or a flower petal. There are all sorts of cool things you can look at. And I'm just going to use my little baggie here to store my Foldoscope and its instructions. I hope yep, it still fits in there. So that'll keep it secure. I'm just going to pack that up. And I hope you'll have fun watching this. If you have any questions, please feel free to email me at ajohns@car.org, car.org, ajohns@car.org. Or you can leave a comment in the Facebook post. I'll be sure to check it. And if you try using your phone to look at your samples on your Foldoscope, take a screenshot and show it to us in the Facebook comments. I'd love to see what you guys look at. I think this is super cool. I am amazed at how cool that was. So I hope you all have a good day. Hope you all have fun with your microscopes, and share what you found with us on Facebook. Have a great day.